address on it.
Looks like we're going to the alternate address.
Okay. All right. So when you arrive at the alternate address, which is a tavern named the Bloated Calf, you see Tessa and Aronnax and the Master of Gales sitting at a table, and they gesture for you to come over to them.
Come on. How many girls named Gale can there be in Port Peril? It's not that common a name. Is that position really all that important?
Depends on who you ask.
It is a pretty common name in Port Peril. But it's Gales.
Ah, so it only takes account... It takes account of spelling, too. Okay. That's even more specific, Bob. Because it's pretty common for it to be Gail.
Alright. Alright. So, you guys head over to the table?
Yes.
I guess.
All
Captain?
right.
I think we're going to need to play this one close to the hip, gentlemen. And lady. And ladies, actually. I think we're going to need to take on additional roles here. Mr. Squeak, I think if we go this route, we're going to separate. We're going to plan a mutiny here against the Pirate King. This is all in the confines of our small group here, not talking with any other third-party individuals here, just kind of musing now that this is kind of starting to get a momentum here.
Sorry, I was going to ask Bob to rest us and restore health, because, yeah, it's been a few days since we were in a fight.
Anyhow, Baldric, you're going to have to coordinate all the captains here. Mr. Squeak, you're going to have to coordinate all the crew and vet the pirate captains as being evil or non-evil and make sure that we spy on them and whatnot. Mr. Boyd, you have a lot of ships to steal pieces from, and we're going to have to...
He actually has most of these from the first
Oh, I'm sure, just reiterating. And you're going to be, he's going to say, you're going to have to be more, less intrusive, I guess I would say. You need to not be noticed as much, laddie. We're going to need you to be a scuttlebutt.
I am never noticed, sir. I am like a shadow in the night.
And so yeah, and then Bort's just gonna have to be the runner, and so if we're gonna do this, we're gonna stand up to Harrigan and do a full on, because Harrigan, he's gonna have a couple of faithful people, whether they're faithful to him, not Harrigan, I mean Kurdak Bonefist. He's got a couple faithful people to him, whether they're faithful because they don't want to go against him, or they're faithful because he may be in league with the Chalish. We don't know. But this could turn out to an all-out skirmish that could weaken the overall strength of the pirate fleets and the Shackles if we're going to start a division between us and Kurdak and then have to fight the Chalish here. So if we're going to do something and we're going to meet these people and try to do this, we're going to need to do this as quickly as possible with slaying as many people as possible, because we don't need to limit our firepower by fighting two wars at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, so Boyd says, so what do you wish me to do, Captain? I don't understand.
Aye, Mr. Boyd. Whenever you're going to be the runabout, when we need to send message, I don't trust magic to travel indistinguished. We're going to need a runner, so it can go between the different pirate lords and the pirate captains in a water rat like you.
I cannot walk on the ocean, though, sir. How am I supposed to deliver messages to pirate lords if I can't speedily... magic would be much more quick.
Within Port Peril, your water rats, we're gonna make sure you're outfitted by Mr. Squeak and Mr. Belthanian to give you the ability to be swift of foot on land or sea.
Baldric puts his hand up. I can ride over water, sir.
Aye, Mr. Baldric, but your presence is, let us say, very well known.
So,
You stand out.
just to be clear, sir, you don't actually want me to do anything right now.
No, but you need to be at the ready once we gather our allies, because Kurdak is a coward. He is a cheat. He is sat and become fat upon his throne. He would rather wait to be hunted like a whale that he is, rather than to fight.
Yes, Captain. I understand. So then he falls into line with the rest of you, and the pirate lords who have gathered there are kind of looking quizzically at you as you stand there talking amongst yourselves for like 10 minutes.
We're gonna get. We probably have a couple of casks of ale left that I bought, so we're gonna. I will obviously take it with me. I'm gonna pour out some ale, and we're gonna.
I don't know about obviously. You're going to a tavern. Why would you bring your own ale?
Because are they gonna stop a freaking 14-foot?
No. I'm not saying they're not gonna stop you. I'm saying I don't see the logicalness. You said obviously. I don't think
I probably would have drunk it and all. We'll probably need to buy ale drinks for everybody. You're right. I could probably down 10 casks myself in like 10 hours.
Yeah, Baldric needs to buy some rum too.
So we're gonna drink. So we're gonna rent out a back room.
Okay, so there is no actual back room in this tavern, but it is fairly empty. The only people in here are the pirate lords. They seem to have bought out the entire tavern. So
going to slip the tavern owner 100 gold here, and tell him to lock up for the night and dim the lights.
Okay. He looks surprised and looks at the other pirate lords and then heads to lock up. And then the other 3 pirate lords gesture you over to their table.
Yep, we're gonna head on over there.
Okay,
for sake of easy convenience, I'm going to reduce my size, so there we go.
Okay, so you are no longer 10 feet tall and
Yep,
wide.
I'm just saying.
You're just dwarf sized. Okay, so you approach the table, and Tessa says, I hope you didn't give Broadwin any more gold. He's already had more than he knows what to do with this night. We gave him quite a handsome sum to close up early.
Aye, but he knows who's extra generous and who is going to fill his coffers, so if conflict does come to his establishment, that he will be handsomely compensated.
Yes, hopefully he just doesn't go and drink himself to death, is all I'm saying.
I think...
Thank you for meeting us, and welcome. So, we have been talking amongst ourselves, and we are beginning to, how do I say, not be satisfied with the leadership of the Shackles at the moment. And then she kind of pauses and leaves it open to you for a second.
I will tell you this, Tessa Fairwind. A fist made of bone is only good for one thing. Letting the lives and the well-being slip through the cracks.
Okay. Yes. I see, I suppose.
Because you can't close a fist and have it completely, like, airtight, kind of thing there.
Yes.
I'm going to pretend that last bit was in character as well.
Yes, I am too.
A little Drax, little Guardians of the Galaxy thing, yeah, I guess. Oh, you must be so embarrassed. say, I'm not one to mince words, and I'm not one to be afraid. I have conquered the pirates' regalia. I have seized the island. I have bested the Black Tower, and I have defeated Barnabas Harrigan, all in less than a year's time.
Who?
Barnabas Harryguts.
Oh, him. Right.
I have done all these deeds in less than a year's time. And what has the Pirate King done? Simply wanted to erect more statues in his favor, like some men putting him up to piety. Besmar is the only piety that I worship.
Okay.
What was that?
He looks at her and is like, you heard me. I respect your Ned, but I do not worship him.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Aaron X speaks up and says, "Yes, we have begun to think the Hurricane King has become complacent, and we could see a new direction coming forth if a prospect presented itself."
Someone who's rough, but fair, but has open ears to those around him. Or her. Or him.
And he
I'll say that, yeah, there we go.
and he nods and seems in agreement. And Tessa speaks up again and says, "We are in agreement that a fleet should sail north to attempt to meet the Chelish fleet." And at this point, the Master of Gales speaks up and says, "Yes, I too believe that we should sail, for my port is the furthest north in the Shackles, and I believe Drenchport will be the first target of opportunity that the Chelish attempt to take."
Elgin will nod and he'll speak up and he'll nod to Squeak and Baldric and everyone at the table on his side and say, "Aye, and the first combat is the one that drives the motivation. We either break their spirit or we embolden it. And I'm not like Mr. Bonefist, the Hurlame King, to let that transpire in my shackles."
Okay, his eyes seem to darken at the insults to Kurdak Bonefist. He seems to still have quite some respect for the man. He has been on his side for a very long time, but he says, "Yes, for this purpose, I offer my services to your fleet. I'm unable to, sorry, mind blank.
Openly declare my allegiance, basically.
Yes, I am unable to openly declare and thus commit squadrons to your cause, but I can assist you with my considerable control of the winds." And similar. Meaning he farts a lot.
He's going to hold up his little glass of rum that, since Baldric is buying everything here, and say, I know that he was your comrade and friend in arms for many years, and speaking ill of him puts a sour taste in your mouth, Master of the Gales. But it is either friendship or freedom, and what are we pirates if not free?"
He nods with a thoughtful look on his face and says, "Yes, thank you for understanding." Alright, Aranax Endymion speaks up and says, "Well, I have less familiarity with the Hurricane King, and I am not afraid to send support of my finest squadron, commodored by myself, if you wish, to aid you in your battle. And he's sort of waiting for a response.
Sorry, I had
That's
someone
appreciated.
talking in my ear.
Okay.
I'll let Mr. Squeak answer.
You
Squeak.
will be most welcome, says Baldric, the acting admiral.
Indeed.
Okay. And Tessa speaks up and says, I also am willing to go out on a limb here and offer my personal squadron and assist you in your time of conflict.
Baldric inclines his head to her as well.
All right. However, I believe we should be going at any moment. I had a brief look at the notes, and it looks like the fleet is getting closer with every day. All right, but unless anyone else has anything to say or any questions to ask,
I do.
Okay, what are you gonna say?
I assume that with my grand argument to the Pirate King, you will be put under heavy scrutiny. You will be put under his gaze, and you will try to intercede, not necessarily directly, but from the shadows. Who would you suggest among the council that we should be wary of, should they choose to approach us? If Tessa Fairwind, if you were not here this night and invited me, I would not have come, but you have proven yourself an ally. But who should we be wary of, for their motives to be with the Pirate King, not with what is right for the Shackles?
She nods at you and says, I think you should only trust us three. These are the only pirate lords that I believe have no ulterior motive with any offer they may bring you. So I would be very careful of all outside offers other than us three. But if you have any trusted confidants or allies that you could bring to your side, they would be helpful in the battle. And Aronnax also says that the guy he assigned to your fleet before, Madshank, is still on, basically.